he was never a comfort nurser. Like, it was never about that for him. He was there to just get his food, and he was really quick with nursing as well. Like, he never ever nursed. Probably like 10 minutes was like a long time for him on both sides. It was really, a long time for him. So he wasn't a comfort nurser. And then around that age, he started getting distracted, and I still had like crazy milk production things going on, and I was struggling. But he was still doing fine. He was going fine. And like, looking back on the breastfeeding experience I had with him, sure, there were times where I was like, oh, this is nice, but overall and in general, if I'm being completely honest, it was a negative experience for me. I did not enjoy it. It wasn't a nurturing experience. It wasn't something that I felt bonded us closer. Yeah, it just wasn't that for me. I never got to the stage, like you see mums just sit down and they're like, whip their shirt up and put their baby on, and they can feed them and just sit there comfortably. I never got to that stage. I just always had milk everywhere, and it was just sticky, and my baby would latch and unlatch, and I hated it. I did not like feeding in public, because I was, I didn't want to be exposed, and yeah, I just didn't enjoy it. And so by 5 months, I spoke to my husband and I said, look, I'm considering weaning him. And my husband didn't care. He was like, do whatever makes you happy. And I'm so thankful for that. Like, super, super thankful for that. He's incredibly supportive, because if I hadn't have had his support, I would have just kept struggling. So at 5 months, I made the decision to wean him. And it was not a decision that was easily made, because I felt so guilty, because he was still thriving. So many women have to stop breastfeeding because they cannot produce enough milk, or, for health reasons, whereas for me it was just that I wasn't enjoying it, and I felt really bad about that. I can see now that it was more a mental health issue, and it was better to do what I did, but at the time I just felt like I was being completely selfish. But I did. I weaned him. I just dropped one nursing session a week. I think we were completely weaned onto formula by like 3 or 4 weeks. And yeah, so he was 5.5, 6 months old, I think. And honestly, it was the best decision I could have made. In hindsight, like, I look back and I think, like, I don't know why it took so long to do that. It was just what we needed to do. And I'm so glad that I decided to do that. And he thrived. Like, I was so much happier after I had weaned him. That was actually when I was like, okay, I want another baby, because obviously that was just a big deal, and it was really hard. I enjoyed having the independence and being able to like have someone else feed him, and I know some mums might struggle to comprehend that as well, but for me it was just, I had a lot of anxiety, and yeah, having a little bit of independence really helped. Having my body back to just me really helped, and it was the best thing ever, because I enjoyed feeding him again, and it was a much happier experience for the both of us. So that was sort of my breastfeeding experience with Jack, and I'm sorry if it has an overwhelmingly negative sound to it, but like, I'm just being honest. That is how I felt, and that's how it went. And so now I'm just going to talk about what my plan is for this baby, because she is due in about 2.5 months, and breastfeeding is a thing that I have worried about the most, that has concerned me the most, that makes me the most anxious. And there is still a lot of pressure out there to breastfeed, and I don't have any problem with breastfeeding. Please don't get me wrong. But for someone who, like myself, who is a high achiever, I like to give the best in everything that I do. And so I found, essentially, it felt like to me, if I wasn't breastfeeding, then I was depriving my child of the best that they could have. Like, do you get what I mean? So, with this baby, I've spoken to my husband a lot about this, and I've spoken to my midwife a lot about this, because I want support from both sides. I need people to tell me it's okay to do what I want to do. So this is the plan. With this baby, I have decided that if I am not getting a good latch within the first couple of weeks, and there is no, like, obvious reason for it, like there's no anatomical reason, like she doesn't have a lip tie or a tongue tie, or or it's not a technical issue that we cannot discover, then I'm going to switch to formula. I'm not going to pump. I'm not going to put that pressure on myself. I'm just going to switch to formula and bottle feeding. Because I've realized that being a mum is not about being a martyr. Sometimes your mental health and you being happy and not anxious is of greater good to your children than you breastfeeding. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to breastfeed, that is absolutely wonderful, and I will 100% support you with that decision. But for me, if it's going to come to the cost of me like not being the best mum that I can be, then it is not worth it for my child. I want my children to have a nurturing mama who is happy and who is not anxious and is not stressed out. Yeah, that is my focus and that is what I've got in my head. I think what I'm worried about is because with Jack there was nothing that they could see that was wrong to cause the damage and the issues, and so I worry that it'll be the same situation with this baby. And it might not be. Like, it might be a breeze. My mum keeps saying it's probably going to be a breeze, you know, and you'll just, like, laugh at what you've said. But I just wanted to go into it with, like, super low expectations. I really, like, in my mind, I'm like, if I can get that colostrum into her in the first 3 days, and that is a fantastic achievement, because that colostrum is full of goodness. But really, Jack's done so well on formula. Like my midwife was just like, there's so much scaremongering out there, and you just do what works for your family, excuse me. So that is my plan. That is what I'm going in like. And quite honestly, if we get to a point that it is not enjoyable, then I am going to switch to formula, and I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And that is just how we're gonna go. So I'm very thankful to have a very supportive husband. He's like, I just don't even get what the big deal is. Like, it's just feeding your baby, and I really appreciate his support, and having a midwife who is so open-minded and super supportive. She's just wonderful. I love her to bits. I hope that if there are other mums out there who have felt the same, who have felt guilty because they're the ones not enjoying breastfeeding and it's not really a health issue and you want to give up for that reason, it's okay. It's okay to do that. There is nothing wrong with that. The media might make you feel guilty because, honestly, and I understand why they have to push that message so hard, because, you know, it is better to breastfeed your baby if you can, but not at the cost of, you know, a family being unhappy and a mum being unhappy, and yeah. Anyway, those are all my thoughts on breastfeeding. I finally got it into a video. I finally recorded it. I'm going to have to edit it down because I know it's super duper long, and I hope that it's actually beneficial to somebody other than myself. But thank you so much for watching, and if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any experiences that you want to share, please leave them in the comments below. I love talking to other mums, and I mean, that's how we learn, isn't it? You know, it's just hearing other people's stories and examples. So if you want to do that, please leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you want to continue to keep up with my channel and see when this sweet baby girl is born, and you'll find out her name when she's born, so I can't wait to reveal that to you guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.